Well, we've reached our spot that we like to hang out here at Falls Lake. But we ran into a little problem. We have a fire pit set up here. You know, it's a nice little walk through the woods to get here and string the hammocks here. And oh, wait a second. Fire pit's down there. I guess with all the rain lately and the fact that they haven't opened the floodgates at the dam, the water in the lake is really high. And our beach and our fire pit are now below the surface of the water. So we no longer have a beach, and we will have to improvise a new fire pit. What you gonna do? Alright, a little while later, see JP's got his hammock set up. I went ahead and did the full ubangi hammock, rain fly, and little hammock for the hammock, actually for the gear that hangs underneath. Reason being, I'm staying the night, so I want to be warm and dry. JP's not, so that's why he's just chilling in his hammock. Well, actually he's not chilling in his hammock. He's over yonder, gathering some firewood. Had to build a new fire pit since, yeah, our other one is down there. Oh, it's pretty chilly out today. Probably why? Every bit of 30 some odd degrees. I don't think it's above 40. Yeah, doesn't feel like it's above 40. So yeah, time to get a fire going, and I think some little additives, and then we'll have some lunch. Yay.
More of those splashes?
Yeah. We're realizing a flaw in our logic of putting the fire pit where it is. We weren't expecting boaters to be out when it's, you know, below 40 degrees outside, but a couple of them just went whizzing past, and as the waves broke on shore, a couple little splashes hit the fire. Hope that doesn't prove to be a problem. But regardless, fire's going. We got the jet boil boiling some water. Looks like it's getting there too. And I do believe for lunch we are having some rice and chicken. I just said goodbye to Paradox. So let Strix's night on the water commence. He left. Time to go get with his bandmates and do what they do. And the sun's on its way down. It's probably 20-25 minutes away from going below the tree line. Maybe an hour before it gets totally dark out here. There's still sunlight over on that side, on that shore. Fire went out as we went for our little hike. But the coals are still pretty hot, so I just pretty much set it up, hoping that it'll get going here in another 15 minutes or so. It's pretty quiet out here now. We did notice a fatal flaw in this spot. It's fine to hang out during the day, hammock between these trees, and just chill by the water. But I noticed when stringing the rainfly, these trees aren't the biggest, thickest things in the world. So when you put a body in the hammock and the weight bends down, the trees kind of tend to bow in a little bit, and the rainfly gets droopy. Shouldn't present too much of a problem. It's not going to rain tonight. It's just using the rainfly to try to keep some warmth up there. Although if the winds kick up again and it's droopy and it's going in the wind, that might prove to be pretty annoying. Oh well. I'm going to try to breathe some life back to this fire. And then I don't know, maybe watch the sun go down. Sun's behind the tree line. I got some water boiling. I'm going to make some hot cocoa. This fire's probably a few minutes away from coming back to life. And notice something just to show some scale to, I guess, how warm it has not been today. If you're looking down here, icicles. Maybe it's lower than the mid-30s. The sun is just about down. Still got a little bit Can just now start to see the shadow of this side hit that side. That cove is already under darkness, or under shadow, I guess I should say. So, a little bit of daylight left. Got some cocoa. It's delicious. Also hauled in a few more rocks to put around the fire pit. See if I could just angle that heat more towards me. And speaking of rocks and me, I've also gone and built myself a chair. Took some minor adjustments after putting it together. It had a discernible wobble at first, but it's pretty good now. Can't complain. Other than it's hard as a rock. Figured now would be a good time to start talking about gear or clothing, more or less. I mean, gear. Love Jetboil. Even when I have a fire going, I just love Jetboil. Also, it helps out in the morning time when you want some coffee. The coffee press makes things very convenient, and it makes a delicious cup of coffee. So I love it. Added weight, but I love it too much to say no. But clothing, I'm a big Marmot enthusiast. This is the Marmot. It's an acronym, range of motion. That's, I believe, what it stands for. And it's pretty good. It does have excellent range of motion. You know, you can do anything with your arms without it riding up on you, which I guess would make it great for, you know, climbing, especially in the winter, or ice climbing more specifically. It is made out of a combination of Marmot's M2 fabric as well as Gore Windstopper fabric, and it got a bit breezy today. I can honestly say that the Gore Windstopper was exactly what it said it would be. It stopped the wind. I didn't really feel it too much. A little bit in my legs. I guess we're starting to get cold. You know, some long thermals would probably come in handy for when it's below 35 degrees and, you know, you're not doing anything active. You're just sitting around a campsite. But these are the Marmot Scree Pants, which are good. It's an M3 fabric, and I like the M fabrics. Ooh. They look like they're very cold, which I can only imagine. I don't know why they're doing that. But I like the M fabrics, M3, 2 and 1. M3 is pretty simple. It's the lightest weight. It's the most, you know, versatile. It's very, very movable, very stretchy, I guess you could say. You know, it's got a good DWR finish on it, but it's not waterproof by any means. And it's very wind resistant, not windproof. The M2 fabric, on the other hand, has an even better DWR finish to it, and you know, is 100% windproof. Like with this, especially with the Gore Windstopper, it just stopped it up. And I also have a Zion jacket that I actually loaned to my buddy JP for today. And Zion is the M1 fabric, and that's a badass jacket. That's a badass jacket. I mean, 100% windproof, 100% waterproof. I hiked out in an ice storm last year when I got it just to test it, and it held up. It's good shit. Good stuff. Excuse me. Good stuff. As far as insulation is concerned, today I'm wearing a Marmot Zeus vest. I went with the vest as opposed to the actual jacket because you know, too much on the arms for me. Just gets a little too bulky. So the vest warms the core, and as long as you keep the core warm, your arms will survive. The Zeus is 800 fill goose down, I believe, and it's pretty good. I would say down to, and you know, my torso is still comfortable, and it's probably in the low 30s. So I would say mid to upper 20s. You're good. I also did bring my Mountain Hardwear Monkey Man jacket, and love the Monkey Man. Absolutely love the Monkey Man. For it warmed Paradox up in a hurry earlier on today. He was getting pretty cold. His insulation layer was just very thin fleece, and it wasn't really enough, so he put on that Monkey Man. Within a few minutes, he said he was nice and cozy. He wasn't shivering anymore, which is good. So I'll probably throw the Monkey Man on once it gets a little bit colder this evening. My most recent investment is what I'm out here testing tonight, and that is my new sleeping bag, Marmot Plasma 15 degree. amazing bag. I even slept in my bed in it instead of my bed sheets for a couple nights just because it was so comfortable. But tonight's low is 28 degrees. I'm on the water, so it's probably going to be every bit of 28 degrees, maybe a few degrees below, and who knows what kind of wind we'll have. And I will be sleeping not only in the sleeping bag, but in an Eno Doublenest hammock. Great hammock, but very thin material. Wind gets through it very easily. So let's see how good that sleeping bag holds up. I did bring my sleeping pad to sleep on top of, to kind of give me a little bit more warmth. So see how it goes. As for now, I'm gonna watch the shadows creep up on the other side of the lake here and enjoy the rest of my cocoa. Getting dark. In fact, it pretty much is dark. There's a little bit of light in the sky, but it's definitely getting there. Threw some spruce onto the fire a little bit ago. Just, you know, a little bit of denser wood, high sap content. Hopefully, it'll put off some good heat and burn for quite a while. I do have a considerable amount of firewood, or at least it was a considerable amount of firewood. Now, not so much, but there's still a good bit left that'll definitely get me through the night, and you know, I'll save some for the morning. But I'll throw a little bit more spruce on this bad boy to let it burn for another hour or two. Pretty much already set up the hammock and pulled out the sleeping bag, opened it up. Hopefully it's all fully lofted and whatnot now, and yeah, so I think I'm going to take a little toke and go climb inside the hammock after putting a little more wood on the fire, of course. Well, now it's about 8 o'clock. I've been in the sleeping bag for a little while, 30 minutes or so. Tried to appreciate the night, but it's really cold out there. I did catch a glimpse of the stars 10 minutes ago when I went to pee. But so far so good. Like after 10 minutes of the bag, I was warm and toasty. My hands are a bit cold and I can see my breath, so it's mighty chilly, especially right here on the water. But so far so good. This will be the earliest I've gone to sleep in quite a long time. I'll probably be out in the next 30 minutes or so. Yeah, the cold does that to you, I guess. Forces you in and there's nothing else to do. Good night. Good morning. Probably about 8:30. Got a little fire going. Brought some life back to those coals. It took a while. Been out here for like 20 minutes. I didn't want to break out new tinder, so I was just trying to feed air into the kindling and whatnot that I put down on there. The bed of coals was hot, but it got pretty cold last night. I clearly survived, though. It wasn't too bad. Wasn't the most comfortable night, but it also wasn't my least comfortable night sleeping either. It seems like the hammock needs a little bit more insulation. The sleeping bag was fine, but every so often, especially if the wind would gust a little bit, like I would feel it. I wasn't too much of a fan of that. So far, tenting wins in below 30 conditions as opposed to hammocking, but I should be able to improvise on that and make it better. Anyway, it's time to continue to breathe life back to this fire and make some coffee and make some breakfast. And the sun is up, but I can't see it. That half of the sky is blue. That half of the sky is cloudy. And the sun's somewhere over there. Time for breakfast. Smoke. I think the downside to camping on a lake is that the winds are constantly changing. So Heat was cool and all for a while until I got smoked out, and now it's my charging station. But yeah, breakfast was half decent. Scrambled eggs and bacon, Mountain House. I don't know, we tried it once a year and a half ago on the AT, and I don't know, it was horrible. We couldn't even stomach more than 3 bites. And I did it again today, and they weren't too bad. They still didn't really have the texture of eggs, but the texture was not as spongy as it was a year and a half ago. So I don't know what we could have done wrong out there. The directions are pretty simple. Boil water, add water, stir and sit. So who knows? But anyway, fire's going nicely. Sun is up. I think it's somewhere around 10, maybe quarter till right now. And it sounds like there's finally somebody on a boat. Got my morning cup of joe. Just gonna appreciate things here for a little while, and probably in an hour or two break down camp and head on home. Anyway, that's all for now.